A tribute to David Kwangsun-se. I met David 50 years ago in the early autumn of 1971 at his office at Women's Janice and I were coming from Tokyo, where we had been with Yoongbak Kim, who had given us some books and other materials to pass on. I remember that one of the titles of these books was Letters from TK. I'm sure many of you know it. This was our first time in Asia, and we were en route to Taiwan, where for the next 2 years we would be teaching English, participating in student work, and studying Chinese at Tainan Theological Seminary. David received us warmly, and we spoke for a bit, but he was very busy, and we did not want to take up too much of his time. From then on, I tried to keep up with what David wrote on Minjung theology. The Korean Minjung in Christ, his book in English published in 1991, was especially enlightening, a comprehensive introduction to the interdisciplinary theology of Minjung, ending with a vision and a program for Korean reunification. David had been dismissed as a professor at Iwa during the Park Chung-hee dictatorship, and he suffered with the Minjung on the margins of society, and therefore he knew their thoughts and their faith better. But he emerged as even a more prominent theologian with a clear understanding of the way forward. He subsequently held teaching positions at Union Theological Seminary, which was his alma mater for the MDiv degree, and at Drew University. David was an ordained Presbyterian minister, and he held many other posts, including the presidency of the World Alliance of YMCAs. I did not really get to know David until I took part in the planning meeting in Hong Kong for what was to become the Institute for the Advanced Study of Asian Cultures and Theologies, IASAC. That was in 2003. IASAC was his brainchild, his vision, and he worked together with Tim Light, his close friend, with whom he had been a roommate at Union Theological Seminary during their student years, to make this dream a reality. The program, IASAC, began the following year, 2004, with David serving as dean until his retirement in 2007. I became one of the first mentors alongside Preman Niles, another close friend in the ecumenical movement. What inspired me about David's leadership was his embracing style, his vision for the program, and his concern for the IASAC scholars. He insisted that most of the time be given to the scholars to do research and writing on their own. In the 6-week program, we met for only 2 hours each day. David believed in the scholars, and he knew from his own university teaching that younger faculty and doctoral students had neither the time nor the resources to do their own research and writing when they were at home. And so IASAC, meeting on the campus of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, would provide both. He joked always that Preman and I were not only mentors, but we were also tormentors, making all sorts of tormenting demands on the scholars with whom we were working. David wanted something more open-ended, so that scholars could pursue whatever interested them, and therefore help develop creative new approaches to theology and religious studies broadly conceived. David's humanity and humor made him stand out as both a scholar and an administrator. David had a pastoral heart. He took personal relationships seriously, and he had time for everyone, even though he kept it to his own schedule. Although David was, by the time of IASAC, a widely recognized senior scholar, he wore this very lightly. He never took himself too seriously. He was always laughing, but he still made great demands on himself. He brought his set of watercolors wherever he went, and I have a beautiful sketch of the Great Wall of China that he gave me. Janice was with him 1 year at an editorial meeting in Bali for the Asian Christian Theologies Research Guide, for which he served as one of the editors. She remembers both his sharp eye for detail, their sharing of freshly cut sushi on the beach of Bali at sunset, and his painting whenever he had free time. I was shocked, as we all were, and I was saddened when I heard from Anje Wong in late February that David had died. Although he would always be there, or at least I thought he would always be there, because we depended on his inspiration, his leadership, his experience, and his steady hand. He prepared the way for many younger scholars in Korea and around Asia. David left something of his spirit on all who knew him, and so I believe that in some sense he is with us still. God bless you, David, and thank you for all that you have done for us.